still getting used to the live situation here on YouTube. But hey, it's Leah Ray, Todd, Digital Trailblazers. And we're going to have a really important discussion today to help you learn how to position yourself online to stand out, to make more money doing the same amount of work. So I'm going to pass this to you as he silences his phone. Yeah. As you guys jump on, say hi and where you're watching from. We would love you guys. We want to serve you. We want to help you with whatever you're doing in your business. So any tidbits that you have on what your business is or what you're doing, we can help steer the direction of the conversation based on what we see that you're currently working on.
All right. So it's really important that when you are starting your online business and building your online business that you stand out, right? That's one of the big differences between, owning a physical brick and mortar business versus an online business, right? If you have a brick and mortar business, your competition is kind of limited to your local area. So, for example, if you want to go out and get groceries, I know for us, we've got about 3 choices.
Yeah. 3, and probably more, actually.
Well, 3 of them are the same store. It's like we got 3 Publix grocery stores within the area, and then we've got like a Walmart Market and
Target has a grocery store.
And Target, right?
And there's a Winn-Dixie.
Oh yeah, there is.
And there's an Aldi's.
But we pretty much just go to 2 or 3, right?
Yeah, we just go to Publix if we're staying here.
Right. Mm-hmm. If you want to go out to eat at a restaurant, right, your choices are limited to maybe a 30-minute drive, right? 30-minute radius. I know that where I grew up, we had about 3 or 4 choices. Right? It was a small town, 1,500 people. We could go to Subway. We can go to Hot Stuff Pizza. We can go to A&W or the City Diner. That was it.
And then eventually Quick Trip came.
Oh, yeah, Quick Trip.
And then they had, like fast food, gas station food there.
Yeah, gas station restaurant, right? That was small town Wisconsin where I grew up.
Yeah.
So, in one sense, you didn't have a lot of competition. You didn't really have to do a lot to stand out because people's choices are limited. But then on the other hand, as a business, your market, the people that you can market to is also limited. So your income is limited to your local area as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now online, obviously, it's much different. You can market to a worldwide audience, really, if you want, depending on what it is that you're selling. If you're shipping a physical product, you may be limited, right? But there's also a lot more competition. So you've got to do a lot more to stand out.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you're going for Google searches, if you want to rank in Google, you're limited to the top 10 spots. Realistically, you want to get into the top 3 to 5 if you want to get some decent traffic, right? That's worldwide online. YouTube. There's quite a bit more opportunity on YouTube than there is on Google to reach an audience, to rank organically or to get suggested. Okay, but you still, you're competing against thousands.
Yep.
Rather than just a handful. Reaching people with ads. You can reach people with paid advertising. You can reach millions of people with paid advertising. We've reached millions with our paid ads, right? But you still need to stand out. You still need your offer and your business to stand out. And the way that we do that is with branding.
Right.
Okay. Now, when we talk about branding, what is branding? What does it mean to be well branded?
Right.
Okay. Obviously, we need to start with a name, right? A unique name. You want to start with a logo. What is so funny?
Well, that's usually it. People get a logo and a name for their website, and they say they've got a brand. No, that's part of a brand, but that is not your brand. Your brand is how people perceive you. Your brand is how people online perceive you, and that is everything. Your logo and your font and your website, that's part of the picture. But it's just part of that big pie, right? It's just like a little wedge. There's so much more involved when you actually start talking about brand, because a logo you don't stand out by your logo. Your logo is just part of the picture that creates the overall vibe and feel and perception that people have of your company and of your business, which is going to determine who they want to work with, who they want to buy from, who, and in the price points, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing is, like, if I were to ask you, what is your business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is your business? Think about that. And what a lot of people might say is, well, I sell beauty products, right? I promote Grapey Grape. You know, I'm a network marketer. I'm an affiliate marketer. I do Amazon FBA. Okay, that is not your business. Okay, that is what you sell. That is your product. That might be what your business does, but your business is much bigger than that. Your business is your brand, right? It's all these things that Leah was just outlining, is how people perceive you. Okay, what do you help people to do? What is the goal that you help people to accomplish? What is the result that people can expect when they do business with you? Okay, that is what your business is. That is what your brand is. What is the result you help people to achieve? What is the goal that people are trying to reach, that they will seek you out for? Okay, that is what you need to start thinking about your business as. Okay, and it doesn't have to be like some big life-changing thing. Like if you sell napkins on Amazon, well, you know, it doesn't have to it doesn't have to be this big life-changing thing. It could be something very simple, right? If you sell paper clips, but you know, it doesn't have to be a big life-changing thing. You know, you might you might help people to keep their home office organized, right? You may help to declutter their lives and their businesses, right? Your business, you know, like we said, it's much more than just the products that you sell or the service that you provide. Okay, it is how people perceive you, and you really need to think about how are you going to differentiate that from what everybody else is doing. Okay.
And Netter Gold here, he's got some good comments, but your brand voice. What is the voice of your brand? People often forget about that. Yes, that is critical. I totally agree. How people hear you, how your message is in the marketplace, your messaging shapes people's perception 100%. And he says also that your logo is a signature, essentially like the signature that solidifies your place in a customer's mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And think about it this way. I mean, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of other people probably marketing the exact same thing as you.
Yeah.
Or at least something very similar, right? If you're selling beauty products, I mean, how many other beauty products are there out there, right? I mean, you could say, yeah, oh yeah, ours is unique, ours is different. Well, you know, maybe maybe in a lot of ways, but I know, like for Amazon sellers, most people selling on Amazon, they're sourcing their products from the exact same factories as their competition.
Right. And truthfully, as someone who's bought a lot of makeup, it's the branding of the packages that determines what you purchase.
Yep. If you're doing network marketing, yeah, I mean, especially for network marketers, you're selling the exact same opportunity, the exact same products for the exact same price.
Yep, absolutely.
Right. If you're doing affiliate marketing, same thing. You're selling the exact same products, exact same, you know, marketing, and everything's the same. The only thing that's different is what? The link. You've got to find some way to differentiate yourself from everybody else, right? What is it that's going to differentiate you? Because if you don't differentiate, then the only thing, you know, if you're selling the exact same products or similar products, the only thing that you can compete on most of the time is going to be price.
Yep.
Right? If you're selling digital products, if you've created your own essential oils or whatever else it is, you know, especially if you're doing Amazon FBA, if you're sourcing the exact same products from the same factories as your competition, what is it that you have to compete on other than price if you don't create a brand and an experience around that brand?
And that's such an unstable business model. If you don't create a brand, then someone new comes along and undercuts you. There's so much, it's like volatile. You're going to be blowing with the winds of the marketplace and everything else, and you don't control any of it.
Well, because there's always somebody that's willing to underbid you.
Yeah.
There's you will never be profitable trying to win on price.
Right.
Okay. There is no point in being second cheapest. No point in being second cheapest. And there's always somebody that is willing to take a loss in order to get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Always, especially on Amazon, because that's the way they rank products now, is by doing giveaways. So there's people giving away, 60% discounts, 100% discounts, giving away their product for free just to try to rank their products.
Mm-hmm.
And it is never ending. There's always somebody trying to do a launch, whatever product category you're in, that's trying to get ahead, that's willing to underbid you. Okay, so how do you command a higher price for your product? It's with your branding.
Right. And what experience, what are the feelings that you invoke from your audience, from your customers, that determines your price, right? Do they feel that you have the value, that your brand is valuable enough, that it's going to help them enough?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about what feelings you bring to them and how they perceive you, and how they perceive you can help them.
Yep. And one good way to do that was with content.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If there are so many, we talk about Amazon a lot, it's just an easy example, but there's so many people on Amazon who they just want to get a cheap product out there and make sales, and they're not doing anything as far as content goes.
Right.
Okay. We've got one product in particular on Amazon that we just created one video, and we just did a video about this, about how we're generating I think at this point like $1,000 a week in sales on this one product. We just reached $1,000 a week in sales on this one product. We're not running any sort of a campaign. It's all coming from one YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
We did one YouTube video for this one product on Amazon, and it's driving all the sales. We don't have to run any advertising. So all the money that's coming in from the revenue, it's all coming in as, it's profit. There's no like ad spend that we're having to put into it. Right. So, I mean, just doing some content for your products and for your service is going to really help. But even your content, right? That needs to be branded as well. Okay. Because what is content? Content is information. Okay. So if you're on YouTube, you're a YouTuber. I mean, there's nothing you're putting out there that hasn't already been said.
Right.
Chances are there's, whatever type of information you're putting out on YouTube, out on, your blog, out on Facebook, Instagram, it's probably the same information that somebody else's. You probably got it from somebody else, right? And you're just kind of repurposing it into your own words. Okay. So even your information that you're giving, the content that you create, you need to brand that as well. Right? How are you packaging it in a way that is different from everybody else? Okay. How are you adding your own spin to it? How are you adding, your own stories into it to make it relatable to your specific audience?
Right.
What are you doing to add entertainment value to it? Right. One of the most insightful things that pieces of advice that we got about creating content on YouTube, especially, is that all the stuff in your video, okay, all the, all the, the backdrop, if you're doing recipes, right? If you have a cooking channel, your pots, your pans, your cooking utensils, the ingredients, okay, all that stuff is just the props.
Right.
People are there for you. If people show up for your video, it's because they're showing up for you. Everything else that you put into your video, that's just the props.
Okay.
So you want to put your own personality into it. You want to put your own spin on things. You want to package that information that you're giving in a way that will make people want to come back next time. Because otherwise, if all you're doing is giving the exact same information as everybody else, then why not just go to somebody else to get that information? You want to give people a reason to come to you to get that information.
And when you do that, you're building the know, like, and trust. You're building that rapport with your audience, loyal audience who's going to be really engaged and care about you and take your recommendations when you recommend a product, when you recommend a service, when you do that sort of thing, because of the brand and the trust that you've built with that audience.
Mm-hmm. When we were our very first business that we tried to start was a network marketing business. Okay, it took us a long time to really make any money with it. But when we finally got it, right, when we finally started making money with it is when we really started to brand ourselves. And at the time, we were in an opportunity where you could join that network marketing company for free, right? Yet whenever we brought in, and we recruited in our first year, in our last company, we recruited over 100 people in our first year. And everyone that jumped on board with us, they bought in at either the highest level package or the second highest level package. Okay, that was the requirements to join our team. And that was, at the time, was $3,000 for the top level package and $1,500 for the second level package. Yep. Okay. Yet you could have joined somebody else's team or gone just straight to the company, signed up, and you could have gotten started for free. Yet people chose to spend as much as $3,000 to join us in our team. Now, why were they willing to do that? Because they didn't want to just join this company. They wanted to join us. Okay, that's the power that branding has, is when, because we made it a point to make ourselves the go-to people to learn how to build a network marketing business. And because of that, people were willing to pay a premium to join us. Okay, there was a really interesting study done by, I was at the Kellogg School of Management. Let me see if I can bring up that information. A really interesting, the School of Management, they basically had a big group of MBA students, and they sent out a questionnaire, or they did a survey, right? And they had 3 groups of people. And the first group of people, they asked, how much would you be willing to pay for a quality set of gold earrings? Okay, just an unbranded set of gold earrings. There's no brand behind it. And the average price that people came back with when they asked them this was like $550, okay, for an unbranded set of gold earrings. And then they asked the same question to a second group, to their second group of MBA students. And if I can find the exact study here, I'll come back with an exact number. But the second group was asked the same question. Okay, how much would you be willing to spend for a quality set of gold earrings? But this time they added from Tiffany's.
So that nice, pretty teal box.
Yep. So unbranded was $550 was the average price. When they said, now it's from Tiffany's, how much would you be willing to pay for a set of gold earrings? The price went up to $873. Okay. That's the power that the Tiffany's brand has on the price of a set of gold earrings. Okay. Now, a third set of MBA students, they asked the same question: how much would you be willing to spend for a quality set of gold earrings? But this time they said from Walmart. And the average price that people were willing to pay for a set of gold earrings from Walmart.
I see if anybody can guess. Any guesses? How much people would be willing to pay quality set of gold earrings from Walmart? Because this is a very interesting number.
$81.
200%.
200,
yeah. Which, based on those other numbers would make sense, but it's so much lower.
$81. Okay, that's the effect that the Walmart brand has on the price of the gold earrings.
Yeah. And you think about, we talked about your brand is people's perception and how you make people feel. Tiffany's is a perfect example of that. I've never owned anything from Tiffany's. I'm not into that kind of brand stuff. But for me personally, I have a girlfriend that I worked with whose husband always got her Tiffany stuff, and she'd come into work with her boxes, it's a pretty color, like a little teal color. And she would come in and she'd show us all, and she was so excited. And I'm like looking, like I know the value of gold and how much that actually costs and how ridiculous and a bad investment that is and whatever. So that's what's going on in my mind. But in her mind, it was the entire experience. And that experience was worth the money because she felt good. She enjoyed it. It was a whole experience, and how her feelings drove that price point. It justified a ridiculous amount of money that everything from Tiffany's is.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's another example would be purses.
Yes.
Right? Purse. I mean,
yeah, she also had a Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton, Coach.
Mm-hmm. Coach isn't that expensive, but Louis Vuitton is like spendy. And, you know.
Basketball shoes. How much?
Oh my goodness, that's
hundreds
ridiculous.
and hundreds of dollars for basketball shoes that literally come off the same factory line as Payless shoes. Right?
But
Payless shoes that, you know, you get for $25, $35.
Yeah.
But it's the brand. People are willing to pay that for the right brand.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the book around here? Influence. There's a book called Influence, and if you don't have it, you should get it. It's about you know, kind of like the art of persuasion. How to is it over there?
No.
I forget.
Oh, yeah, it's right
here. Okay. Here, hand it over. So see, I bent it. This book right here. It's one of the most valuable books that you can buy if you're selling anything. Okay. Influence. And it's to us, it looks backwards, but Robert Cialdini is the author. It's a classic.
We'll make sure to update the description with a link to the book afterwards.
Right. But in there, I think this is the book that has a story, but there's a story about this guy was selling sunglasses by the beach, right? And he had the specific style that he couldn't get rid of, so he drops the price to $10. Okay, and nobody was buying it. Or wait, no. He wanted to drop the price to $10, so he told one of his employees, okay, just change the price to $10. And they made a mistake when they put the price on the tags. Instead of $10, they moved the decimal point. It was $100. And I think they were normally like $20 pair of sunglasses or something like that. And he was just trying to get rid of them. So instead of lowering the price, they raised the price to $100. And suddenly they started selling like hotcakes. People just the
perceived value.
Yeah, the perceived value suddenly went up, even though they were the same plastic glasses as before. But what they found out was that with the people that were going to that beach, they didn't want just cheap touristy glasses, right? They wanted the high quality glasses sunglasses that were going to be really, really good, right? Not the same old touristy sunglasses that they could get anywhere else. So when they saw the price of $100, immediately in their minds, they thought, well, wow, these must be different. These must be higher quality. So even just raising the price can have a huge psychological effect on the perceived value of something in the brand. So, I mean, those are things you need to think about, because a lot of times when something isn't selling, your initial reaction is to, well, let's lower the price. Let's underbid the competition. And when you do that, I mean, sometimes what's going to happen is you're going to have the Walmart effect.
Right.
And people are going to think, well, these must be low quality. These must be cheap. And a lot of times it's not what your audience is looking for.
Absolutely.
So
I'm going to go stop the children who are now
playing
musical instruments, not following directions.
But, when you think about your brand, you really need to, number one, you need to figure out who it is that you're serving, right? Who is your target audience? Because a lot of times, we say that, our product or our service is for everybody. Well, figure out exactly who would be your perfect customer. Right? And weight loss supplements is one that you could have a very wide audience, right? You could do, it might work for men, might work for women, might work for young people, might work for older people. You could say, yeah, this supplement works for everybody. Okay. If you really want to make sales, you want to target a specific niche.
Yeah.
Okay. Women over 30. Okay. Men with dad bods who want to drop down to 12% body fat. Right. If you can target people specifically like that with your product, with your brand, and say, this is specifically who we're helping and who we specialize in helping, that we this type of person we have specialized in getting the best results for. Okay, that is when you will really start to make a lot of sales. Okay, because think about it, you don't want, this is a Pat Flynn analogy. You don't want to be the Swiss Army knife. I don't know if you're familiar with Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn is a very successful affiliate marketer. Okay, if you haven't checked out his channel, you definitely want to check it out. He's a podcaster. He's got a popular YouTube channel, but you don't want to be the Swiss Army knife. Mm-hmm. Okay, because when do you ever use a Swiss Army knife? It's got everything on it, right? It's got a blade, it's got scissors, got a corkscrew, got toothpick, got a nail file, got whatever, right? Whatever you want on it, it's got it, right? If you've got a bottle of wine that you want to open, what's the first tool you go to? Is it the Swiss Army knife, or is it your specialty wine bottle opener?
Yeah, with little wings that you pull down and just pops open nicely.
Yep. If you need to cut a piece of paper, right? Do you go to your Swiss Army knife and you use that little paper, scissors on there, or do you take out your specially, big shears, scissors, right? Regular scissors that fit comfortably in your hand, right? Too many people try to be the Swiss Army knife,
right? And we only use those tools on the Swiss Army knife if it's like an emergency and you have no other option.
Or if you're just playing with it.
Right. And you really truly use it. Yeah.
Yeah. But you want to be the specialist. When you think about doctors, mm-hmm. who makes the most money? Is it the general practitioners, or is it the specialty surgeons that only do one thing? Mm-hmm. Right? Is it the knee surgeons that do just knee replacements all day? Or is it the general practitioner that does a little bit of everything? Okay, they still make a decent amount of money, but a specialist surgeon is going to make 4 to 5 times more.
Right. Absolutely. Chris has got a great question. Is it okay for a man to target a female audience?
Mm-hmm.
It is. You do want to truly understand them, though. So, for your audience, no matter who they are, you don't have to be that same demographic, but you need to understand their fears, their worries, their challenges, and their goals. You got to really know that. So it's good if you are a man and you are targeting a female audience, that you've got someone that you can really flesh out your ideas with, that you can talk to and brainstorm with, so that you really learn what they're thinking, what thoughts, repeat all the time in their head, so that you can get inside their head and join that conversation with your content, with your sales pages, and everything else that you're doing.
Yep. But that's also where having the social proof comes into play, mm-hmm. is having the testimonials of women, right? Where you can say, yeah, this is Janice, who, is a 35-year-old mother of 3 who blah, 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 right? And, with our program, we were able to help her to blah, blah, right? Whenever you present testimonials, you want to call out the characteristics of that person that your target audience is going to be able to relate to. You don't just want to say, oh, here's Janice, and, she lost 25 pounds on our program. Mm-mm. No, this is Janice. She's a 35-year-old mother of 3, right? She's got a busy day. She stays at home and she spends all day cooking. Her husband works and blah, 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 right? You want to tell a story. You want people to be able to relate to the people that you're giving these testimonials for. Because you want people to say, hey, that's me. Yeah. Right? You want them to think, hey, that's me. That's a situation I'm in. Oh, look, this guy was able to help this lady who's just like me to get the results that I want to get.
Right.
Right.
That's when they have their credit card in hand.
Yep. That's when the credit card comes out.
Yep. I'll charge that one.
So.
You're welcome, Chris. Oh, that was a great question. And we've seen it. Actually, I think one of our YouTube friends, it's a couple that runs the channel, but it's a male that's the face of the channel that's actually on the videos. But I think a portion of their population is female. And that's totally fine. And there are men that target females as a man. There's ads and things for like ketogenic diets and different stuff that like men with their shirts off and like trying to, that I see, they come up in my Facebook feed. So there's that angle too that people do use.
Yeah, I cook with my shirt off all the time.
Yeah, totally natural. That bacon splatter doesn't bother me at all.
Scars from all the grease stain.
Ow.
Hot grease on your chest.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So, but yeah, that's branding. You want to stand out online. You've got to differentiate yourself. You've got to let people know that what you offer is specifically for them. Okay. Because if you're not doing that, then the only thing you're going to be able to compete on is price, and you will never win that a race to the bottom for price. So that's all we got for you today. If you have any other questions, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and add a comment. Post them below this video in the comments, and we'll be sure to check those regularly and answer whatever questions you have. We should be going live again next week, Wednesday. I think we're going to make this a regular thing on Wednesdays, going live like this to answer your questions. And if there's nothing else.
All right, let's wrap it up, guys. There'll be a video in the upper right corner of the screen on the replay. Watch that one next. It's in the description right now. Check that one out, and we'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.